Hey guys, we are here at the Aero in Friedrichshafen this year without the big gliding hall, but I found here a super interesting ultralight glider, 1Comet. Exactly. What is that project?
Yeah, originally it was designed as a foot launch glider, so it's really very light. In the lightest form, it's only about 80 kilograms. But in the meantime, it transformed to a real, let's say, micro lift glider with a electric drive, L over D about 40. So we did some test flights or some comparison flight with an LS4, and in the lower speed range we are quite comparable.
Wow.
So,
and with 120 kilograms maximum empty weight and so on, you want to get the certification, the easy certification, so that you can fly in Germany, for example, without the medical.
That is right, exactly. Yeah.
Let's have a closer look here. Maybe first at this here, that's the prototype. That's more the hang glider option.
Yeah, this was what you see here. This is some kind of hybrid. That means what we took the foot launch cage and we transformed it into the electric version. So it's not what we sell. It was just as a test for test proposals made like this.
And you come from the hang gliding scene? You're not
by myself, I have about 5,000 hours on hang gliders. And I owned by myself 2 Swifts. One from Ariane, the original one from Bright Star in America. And I have about 500 hours on the Swift. Long time ago, I was once vice European champion, but more than
congratulations.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of experience with a Swift.
And why did you start this project? You were not happy with the other hang gliders?
First I thought, when you look at the Swift, L over D is 20, 25, somewhere around there. And by basic training, I'm an engineer. I studied at the ETH in Zurich, fluid dynamics and lightweight design. But afterwards I worked in a completely other domain. I was an entrepreneur, or still am an entrepreneur. And so I thought, okay, is it possible to do it much better? And with some basic calculation, the minimum, we found, okay, it can be done in the minimum 1.5 times better. And so I said, okay, if we can do it 1.5 times better, why not?
Yeah, that's a great motivation, better performance. And I also really like the possibility here with the electric propulsion to self-launch, to be independent and so on. Yeah, that's like the FES system, the front electric system. You can make a self-launch with that as well.
Yeah, you can make a self-launch. We have, it will be certified according to Czech norms. Czech norms demands that we will have in the front as a tail dragger about 23 centimeter.
Okay.
So you can do self-launch, and maybe you have to look at the new one. Yep. We have here a retractable gear here, and so it's also made to that you take off from a grass stripe. You can climb about 3 meters per second, and the total cumulated height we can gain with about 6 kilowatt hours of battery is nearly 4,000 meters.
Whoa.
So it does not mean from 0 to 4,000, it means about 8 times 500, for example.
Well, that's really great. So you have a big range with that as well.
And we can stay in the air over 2 hours.
Yeah. I already sat in there. It's super comfortable, I would say. It's a bit more, I think in the glider you're lying slightly more. But
not necessarily. What you can do here, what is not yet installed here, is there is some kind of aluminium bar, and you can put the seat in a position you want. So that means you can make it a bit flatter.
Yeah.
And what you see also, the main difference is, this was here based on the foot launch version. Yeah. This here is the let's say the ultralight version. We put the pilot much more to the front.
Yeah.
And the reason is that most glider pilots like to look up when they are in thermal, especially when you're thermaling together with somebody else.
Can we quickly have a look at this model down
Yeah.
here? Here you can really see how the pilot would sit in there,
Yeah.
and that he has a lot of field of view to the front, but also to the side. And even if he's thermaling, he won't be super blocked by the wing and
I
so on.
think visibility is a very important
Yeah.
safety factor.
Here with the old design, with the hang glider design, it really looks not as nice, and also you won't have these struts in the field of view anymore. It's just an integrated carbon fiber structure.
Yeah, on a typical hang glider, you need to bring the pilot to the CG, to the center of gravity. So that means you have to put it further below the wing. But on a glider, if you are more in the front and if you have for weight compensation the battery in the back, it's definitely more safe and more comfortable also.
Let's have a closer look at the wing.
The wing is made in 3 parts.
Okay.
Longest part is 5.5 meter. That is theoretically also the shortest packing length. When you want to it's not a normal packing length, because normally you keep the tail boom and the cabin together.
Yeah.
But we have a theoretical packing length when you spend a bit more time, where you can pack it together to 5.5 meters. So the outer ring is about 12 kilogram.
Okay.
The center ring is about 24 kilogram.
So my 33 ME, of course, there are the batteries in the wing, but the inner panel, and it's just half, is about, I think, 90, maybe 95 kilograms. And the outer panel is 17 kilograms. So it's super, super light, and also easier to handle on the ground, to rig and so on. So you aim for one-man rigging.
Definitely it is necessary. So the idea is that you are independent, then you can go alone whenever you like.
Yeah, that's really great. And do you have an experience, or what do you think, how long does it take to rig such a glider?
The aim is, the target is to be able to rig it alone within 20 minutes.
Wow, okay. Yeah. And you don't have water ballast to fill in here and so on because of the ultralight regulations?
At present, we do not foresee it. On a long run, of course, I mean, the heavier the glider is, the better it flies at high speed.
Yeah.
So, but at present, there is no water ballast in the glider. But we have a maximum takeoff weight of 270 kilos. That is what we aim, and we hope we succeed to do for the certification. So you can load it. You can load it quite heavy, and according to the checked certification requirements, we have to go to about 5.6 Gs with a safety factor of 2 for tests. So you should be able also to fly it in any condition. You can fly a glider, more or less, also in strong conditions.
And what's the difference to, let's say, a club class glider like the LS4? How much slower can you climb in a thermal? What's the speed about?
We have a pilot of about, let's say, with a takeoff weight of 220 kilogram. Sorry. We have a stalled speed of about 45 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And when we flew it, it was climbing quite well up to 55, 60 kilometers. So definitely slower than an LS floor.
20 kilometers an hour, about slower, I would say. And then, of course, you can also be, you are more in the core of the thermal probably, and have
I think
probably a better climb.
Sink rate is a bit better as it's lighter. So I think in climbing, it's maybe the best gliders that exist, because the sink rate is very low, and also the speed and maneuverability. That means roll rate is higher than on a normal glider.
To steer the glider, you have the standard things like the remote or the stick in the middle.
Now we have a side stick. I mean, you see it here. Here in the glider, I mean, the pilot is, as I said before, is more in the front.
Yeah.
So the stick will be here, and it's a side stick. Comparable for those who knows the Swift, it's comparable to the Swift or to the Archaeopteryx, for example.
Or the Diana.
Or the Diana, yes, the Diana had also the same.
Yeah. So that's super cool, and then you can just rest here your elbow, your arm on the side.
It's quite comfortable. We made a mock-up.
I never flew a glider with a side stick up to now. That's interesting.
Not difficult. It's not a big difference finally when you have a side stick.
So yeah, it's more. Let's say it more is a glider at the end than a hang glider it used to be. So you also aim more for the customers from the gliding scene, or who is the?
I mean, as there is a certain price which is far above a conventional hang glider, I think the pilots which will be interested are more coming from the glider scene.
Okay.
Those who want to have a simple glider, self-launch glider, which also want to fly slowly, you know.
And what is the time frame for the tests for certification, and when do you think such a glider would be available for a customer?
I mean, the basic load tests to do safe flying we already did. The ultimate load test will be in this summer, and if everything goes well, it should be certified before the end of the year.
Wow, that's great.
We hope.
Why is it called 1Comet? How did you come up with the idea of this name?
I mean, I had once a hang glider which was called Comet, and at that time it was a real revolution. It was really by far the best glider, hang glider at that time.
Okay.
And now when you open the index of the exhibitors at Aero, look who is the first.
Because of the number one.
Exactly.
That's a smart solution.
That's
okay,
marketing.
Yeah. Okay, I thought of any other things because of a competition sign you had or something like that.
No. And it's a registered trademark also.
And your company is in Switzerland, and you also aim for producing these gliders then in Switzerland, or you have some
the company itself is in. I mean, it was developed a long time. I have different companies with one of my company, and about 2.5 years, we put it I put all the design in the company 1Comet. And this company 1Comet is in Ennetbürgen. It's about a direct line 1 kilometer from Pilatus aircraft. Also people which have worked together, for example, Aerofem, the guys who did a lot of the calculations. They did a complete FEM model, they made a complete CFD model, they did a complete flat model. They're just close to us, within less than 1 kilometer. And the idea is to do final mounting in Switzerland, but for the company production, we are doing it, or this frame, or this cabin, for example, was produced in Czech Republic.
Okay, yeah. Really a super interesting project.
Thanks.
I also heard one more thing about the, let's say, ergonomics and also the maneuverability and so on. You want to have a steerable tail wheel, so it's easy to taxi on an airfield.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. So I would be happy if you can keep me a bit updated, and at some point maybe,
of course,
if that is certified and available to fly, I would be happy to fly that one day.
It would be also a pleasure to give it to you and to have your impression of it.
Yeah.
What I can tell you, roll rate and stability is really great. It's still stable, but it rolls very fast.
I never flew such a super slow light glider, and I think the feedback of the thermals and everything is just more direct, and
it's more direct.
Probably you don't need the barometer so much, but it's just close to the nature.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and all the best for this project.
Thanks.